Salutations friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about She, the new release from House of Matriarch. So if you'd like to know what I think about this fragrance and know a little bit about the decisions that were made to come up with the final product that is She, then keep watching. Now, as always guys, I'm always going to let you guys know where I got a bottle of perfume to review. If it was given to me, I will let you know. If I purchased it with my own money, I will let you know. If it was swapped, if it was a gift from my mom, you guys will always know where they came from. I always want to be transparent with you guys with my channel, especially since a lot of people have a little less trust. Things were given to reviewers and they review them. So as always, this was sent to me, and this project I had a hand in from the very beginning. So this review is going to be impossible for me to remove my bias from, and it's obviously going to be a positive review. I highly recommend when it comes down to natural perfumery, House of Matriarch in general. It is a very polarizing house. Not a lot of people like them, and a lot of people are super fans of it. To not buy blind unless you have experience with them and you enjoy their fragrances and Christi's point of view when it comes to perfumes. Do not buy blind. We're talking about it in other venues like maybe Facebook groups or Base Notes or Fragrantica, or if other people decide to review it on YouTube, I don't know. But definitely do not listen to my review when it comes down to purchasing this fragrance, even if you like and trust my opinion, because this is expensive and I am unable to remove my bias. But that being said, I am going to get into how this smells, the specific notes and why specific ones are chosen, and also I'm going to let you guys know about its projection and longevity, and I'm going to be honest about all this. So let's jump into read the notes off of this little card, because there are a lot, and most of these were very specific notes, and I want to make sure I don't mispronounce anything or I miss anything. So Christi created a lemon blossom accord, and I think this is the thing that we are both just the most excited for, which was made with vintage lemongrass from the 70s from Zanzibar, and also a melange of different white florals. On top of that, we have vanilla and beeswax and black copal, Guaiac wood, bergamot, lemon verbena, smoked teas, so there's my Lapsang Souchong on there, guys, Broom, Agarwood, Balsam, Lactones, which is, if you're unfamiliar, kind of adds like a milky creaminess. It's like a note like that, in Ambrette. And that's just me quickly summarizing Lactones if you guys didn't know what this is. This fragrance is called She, and I get way into that in the other video, so I'm not going to get into it here. But this is a unisex fragrance, and it does lean a little bit on the feminine side from the sweetness from the vanilla. It is, I would consider, close to a gourmand fragrance. It does have a lot of gourmand aspects, being very sweet with vanilla. Now, the shining star of this fragrance most definitely is the lemongrass, and this is a tribute and a love letter to lemongrass lovers out there. So if you like lemongrass, if it's one of your favorite notes, this might be a fragrance worth checking out. The lemongrass from the 70s, and actually I'm going to get a little bit into it at the end. These are the three notes that I was super excited for, so we'll get into that at the end. This video might be a little long. The lemongrass in here is just so rich and thick, but it's smooth and it's not sharp, and it's just absolutely amazing. And it's rounded out beautifully by the vanilla, and it has a beautiful sparkle from the white florals and the bergamot, and then the ambrette and the black copal, along with the oud and the Guaiac wood and everything, just really give this a nice base where the lemongrass just shines. It's an absolutely beautiful lemongrass fragrance. I love lemongrass. It's one of my favorite flavors in food, and I love smelling citruses, specifically in humid, hot Florida weather. And as much as I love oud, I love seeing a juxtaposition of notes that are combative that work together. And one of those things which was the inspiration, or what kind of sparked this project, was the fact that there's not that many citrus oud combinations out there, and as much as it sounds like they wouldn't work together, they're actually absolutely impressive. In fact, just about any citrus or oud combination I've smelled out there from other houses has been incredible, which is why I'm kind of baffled why there's not more out there. And that's like a Facebook post that I posted back in, I think it's September or August, is what sparked this project, if you guys are wondering what happened, that's what happened. It was just, Christi's my friend, we're on Facebook, I mentioned this, and it just kind of blossomed into this project. So ultimately, the oud and the smokiness from the teas, the Lapsang Souchong note is really elevating the lemongrass, and also the vanilla rounds it out. But from the opening to the ending of this fragrance, it is a primarily lemongrass fragrance, and the other notes kind of elevate it and help it be a little bit more harmonious and easy to wear than something that might be too grassy or too sharp. And there's nothing wrong with grassy or sharp in other fragrances in regards to lemongrass, but I think that the notes that were chosen in this really help that lemongrass shine. And actually having smelled that specific lemongrass note without any of the other things in it, I can really see Christi's point of view and how she was celebrating this amazing note. Creating this fragrance, or when she was creating it and asking my opinion, because I did get to try it before and kind of tell her what I thought and things I wanted to see, one of the two of the notes that I really wanted to see in this was her vanilla. I am such a fan of her vanilla, you guys. It is absolutely unreal. There's just something about it that just clicks in my head, and I'm like, this is my favorite vanilla I've ever smelled. Specifically in Coco Blanc, it just like, yes, I love this. So I really wanted the vanilla to be very predominant because I also think it would help balance out the oud and the lemongrass and really make them come together in a beautiful way. And I think it does. I think it rounds out the lemongrass, like she said, and I think it really works to make the oud and the Lapsang Souchong and the Guaiac and all those other notes really come together as like a nice smoky, I was gonna say spice, like spice smoky. A nice smoky woody base, which again elevates the lemongrass. Now if you guys know, Lapsang Souchong is one of my favorite teas and also one of my favorite notes in fragrance, and I really wanted a smokiness to this. And we were just talking about our love of tea, talking about our voracious appetite for milk teas, and that was also another kind of little inspiration behind this fragrance, such the lactones and the vanilla. And instead of adding yet another wood, adding the Lapsang Souchong, which is a personal choice that we made that I was really excited for, as an added smokiness. And I think that that note really just kind of like hits a chord with me, and I'm just like, yes, it's so good, I love it. So this is primarily a lemongrass fragrance. Now my favorite wear time of this fragrance is actually after the first hour. When this first comes on your skin, it is so strong with vanilla and it is so strong with lemongrass. It's gorgeous. But when you start to get a little bit more of the oud, and when you start to get a little bit more of the balsam and the black copal and the ambrette, the Lapsang Souchong, it really comes together in this beautiful medley, which is absolutely unreal. I cannot stop smelling it when I wear it, and it makes me so happy. This is such an uplifting fragrance. That being said, the big question when it comes down to natural perfumery, specific House of Matriarch, and one of the reasons why some people find this house to be so polarizing, has to do with projection and longevity, and I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. Foremost, let me just make this completely clear. Again, this is my honest opinion. And Christi knows this, and I know this, and we know. First and foremost, this fragrance was not designed to be a loud fragrance. We did not want this to be a fragrance that filled a room. We did not want this fragrance to be something that, as you walk by, you're left a lingering trail. This was designed to be a personal experience that you and people next to you can experience, a little bit more intimate. We wanted this to be a more intimate fragrance. We didn't want this to be too loud. So this is not a fragrance that has very good projection or sillage. It's about arm's length for the first 2 hours. Then it's about at your elbows for the last few hours of the lifespan of this fragrance. So if that is a deal breaker for you, specifically when it comes to fragrances that are over $300 for 50 ml, then that is going to be a deal breaker for you with this fragrance. This is not designed to be loud and just scream. This is definitely an intimate, more personal fragrance. Also, the biggest thing that people have when it comes to natural perfumery in House of Matriarch, and I think specifically House of Matriarch because her price point is ridiculously expensive, and I understand this is not accessible to everybody, is longevity. Now, when we were thinking about this fragrance, and Christi specifically, there were different things that she could add at the base of this fragrance to make this fragrance last longer. Specifically, think musks and aldehydes. And those, although would help make this fragrance last longer, took away from the integrity of the lemongrass. And since this entire fragrance was focusing around that beautiful vintage lemongrass, we sacrificed, or she sacrificed, longevity to keep the integrity of that note. So this does not last a long time on the skin. And some people are going to say, well, her fragrances never last. And I think everyone has a right to their own opinion, specifically when it comes down to consumer decisions and spending over $300 on a bottle of perfume. So I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to say anybody is wrong for being almost offended at the fact that a fragrance doesn't last longer than 4 hours and somebody would ask over $300 for a bottle. I get about 4 hours on my skin, and you guys know I live in the tropics, and I hope for between 4 to 6. If a fragrance can last 4 to 6 hours on my skin, it generally can last about 6 to 8 in other environments. It is very humid and very hot. So when I knew that there wasn't going to be any musk or aldehydes or anything to really help this fragrance last a long time on the skin, I was expecting about maybe 2 to 3 hours. And I was actually pleasantly surprised when it was lasting about 4 to 5 hours on my skin. So for something that I would recommend for you guys longevity wise, this does last about the length of time on my skin that I would hope for other fragrances. I kind of want to emphasize the fact that this was not designed to be a loud fragrance, and that there were decisions that could have been made to make this fragrance last a lot longer, but we felt that it would turn away from the integrity of the lemongrass. And so since that was the star of the show and it's a really special ingredient, we didn't want to compromise the integrity of that note. That being said, some people are okay with fragrances not lasting a long time, and some people it is a complete deal breaker. And so if that is one of the deal breakers for you, this fragrance is not for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Overall, this fragrance was something really special. Every decision was made with care and thought. Every note was completely, like, specifically chosen. Like, there was no, oh, we're gonna add this and this and this. Like, there was a lot of thought and conversation that went into this, and the end result is something that I'm really proud of and I can stand behind. I did want to go through these 3 notes with you guys. Christi was so excited to send this to me. She wanted me, before I talked about this, to really experience these 3 notes so that I could really understand the point of view of this fragrance. So I have the lemongrass from Zanzibar, that is from the 70s, so it's over 40 years old. I have the vanilla, which is a Tahitian vanilla. It's really, really beautiful. And I have the Lapsang Souchong. This one I was so excited for. So these are the notes I got to smell, and after smelling them on their own and experiencing the fragrance and wearing the fragrance, I can really truly pick out those notes in the wear of this fragrance, and it's something that I'm just so super duper excited for. So that is my thoughts on She, you guys. That is me talking about She. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Again, I know House of Matriarch can be very polarizing, and I think that it's completely okay for people to have their real, honest opinions on any house. I feel like people have every right to have their opinions, and so there is a comment section below. If you do not like this fragrance, if you think this is too much money, you can definitely let people know in the comment section below if anyone would come to this review and they would want to use this review as a reference to purchase this fragrance. Also, if you guys really enjoy House of Matriarch and you're excited for this, or if you've tried it, if you're watching this maybe in the future when you purchased your bottle, I would love to know what you guys think. As always, if you like these videos and this type of content, remember to give this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue doing videos like this. And also don't forget to subscribe, because it's free and I'm free, and I put out new videos every Monday through Friday, sometimes on the weekends as well. There we go. So I'll always have something for you to watch. In any case, I hope you guys are all happy and healthy. Have a great day, month, year, whatever. And I'll see you next time.